was just able to break it loose. I tried it one more time and it broke free. Now let's see if I can get those pieces off here. Oh, there they are. Okay, that exhaust valve's got quite a bit of carbon buildup on it. Some kind of Teflon tape or something on that screw. And on that one, I'm seeing things here that are not normal, and look at that. What the hell is going on with this engine? Are these holes stripped out and that was needed, or is this the gasket? It looks like that was the gasket that was used on this back plate with some kind of crappy Teflon tape crap. Man, I don't know. Okay, go heat this thing up again and see if I can get this cylinder to want to come out. Okay, so I just heated this cylinder up pretty good and just used my plastic spudger here to pull this thing up. Oh man. So that's up and out. I'm absolutely certain that just getting this wristband out of here is going to require considerable effort, unfortunately. Okay, as you can see, I was successful here. Connecting rods out, pistons out, wrist pins out. I think that's as far as I'm going to go on it tonight. This stuff is red hot. What I ended up having to do was, I had this engine upside down. It was in this orientation, and I squirted some LA's Totally Awesome cleaner into this piston so it filled it up. And I let that sit in there for about 15-20 minutes, and I poured it out, sprayed it with alcohol, started filling this area up with 3-in-1 oil and a lot of heat, and eventually I started to see this thing start to come out, so I knew I had it on the ropes then. Finally it just came out, so that was the most difficult part of this engine rebuild by far. Everything else should be a cakewalk here, hopefully. So, like I said, I'm going to stop there for tonight, and we'll pick it up in another day or so, and I'm going to use my ultrasonic cleaner to clean these parts, so I haven't started soaking anything because I want to get everything all tore apart, put in the ultrasonic cleaner, clean it all at one time. So, that'll be our next step. Okay, so I've got the ultrasonic ready to put parts in. Let it focus here. Here's the crankcase. Pretty dirty. See, the inside's really kind of gross. Let's see here. Intake manifold. Connecting rod. The head. Oops, that screw didn't need to go in there, but it's in there now. Here's the crankshaft. Timing cover with the bearing installed. I'm just going to drop that in there. This carb, instead of disassembling it, I think I'm just going to drop it in there and then I'll take it apart afterwards. Back plate is pretty nasty, but don't expect to see this change color. The cleaner is not going to get that off. I am going to put the piston in here. It's pretty clean. I already kind of cleaned it up some, but I'm going to put it in here just to see if I can get any more of that out. Let's see, what else I'm going to put in here? Valves. Timing gear. Cam followers. Rocker arm assembly. And I think that's about all I'm going to put in there. Now I'm going to put this drive washer in there also. So we're going to start this. And see what these parts come out looking like. Okay, so this is just 1.5 these 482nd cycles. Shut this thing off because I've been in here with my hands doing a little bit of brushing on some of these things. So I want to pull some of these parts out and show you how clean they are now. Here's the crankcase. No more of that gunk on there. Let's see what our head looks like now. Here's our head. Not 100%, but it's pretty darn nice. I might brush this up a little bit more. Much better than it was. In fact, I'm just going to drop that back in there. Crankshaft. Dry it off a little bit. Not too bad. What else is in here? Here's that back cover. It does look quite a bit better than it did. Didn't get all that discoloration, but it looks pretty darn good. I'm happy with that. Let's see if we can find the piston. Oh, look how clean this piston is now. Look at that. That's nice. So what I want to do is I'm just going to grab these parts out of here, and I need to spray them down with alcohol and then wipe them down and put a little coat of oil on them, and I'll show you all the clean parts again here when I get them all out. Okay, Rodney, here are your clean parts. Almost ready for reassembly. I still need to get the parts I just ordered, but here's your crankcase. It was pretty filthy. Nice and clean now. The sleeve was never bad to begin with. Here's your timing gear. This thing was pretty nasty. Timing gear and the cover with the bearing. This carb has been completely disassembled. I put a new O-ring in here. It's all oiled up, lubed up. I reset this, so I'm going to have to retune this engine completely. Connecting rod. Nice and clean, doesn't look damaged at all. Piston, you saw this from my last short little blurb there. Thing looks nice. The cam followers, wrist pin, here's the valves. These things look pretty nice overall. This engine's in pretty decent shape. It doesn't look like a very high-time engine at all. Here's the head. I'm not going to worry about trying to get any more of that darkness out of there. This thing is more than clean enough to serve a long, useful life here. The back plate. A lot of that staining didn't come out, but I didn't expect it would, but it's nice and clean. And our prop drive washer. I happen to have bearings on hand for this, so I can go ahead and put the bearings in the crankcase and at least get the crankcase ready to that point. I won't be able to put the valves in until I get the valve springs, but making good progress. And here's our crankshaft. Looks nice. So this should be a really nice running engine once I get it all reassembled.